Welcome to the overnight. The Yankees got officially eliminated this evening. And I'm not surprised. It's just, it's almost like you expect this every fucking year. This team makes it to the playoffs. And you know exactly what's going to happen. It's like a fucking, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Different players, rinse, repeat. I mean, Cam Slitler had he pitched pretty good tonight. Kept the Yankees in the game, gave them some length that they desperately needed. Because the starting pitching was fucking trash. When going into tonight's game, I was just thinking, you can't let Toronto get out early and running with their hits. When, Vlad just literally, I don't know, he literally torched the Yankees. He did. And he did his damage early. In the early innings. In game one, he hit the home run in the first inning. And then he hit the grand slam off Warren in game two, early. And then he hit the home run yesterday off Rodon, first innings. So you figure, right, there's a runner on second, you have a first base open, and you fucking pitch to him. And he scored a run. And yeah, Kim, settled down and whatnot and kept the Yankees in the game, and McMahon homered and whatnot, and and he figures the game goes along, hopefully the Yankee offense would break out. And the seventh inning rolled around. And fucking Jazz Chisholm, and I'll get to him during this video, committed a fucking costly error. And I said it when he had the error, that's the end of the season. They'll have opportunities. But that'll end the season. And that made it 4-1. And then they scored again to make it 5-1. But the Yankees had opportunities in the sixth inning with 2 on, failed. The Yankees had opportunities in the seventh inning, 2 on, failed. The Yankees had the opportunity eighth with the bases loaded, failed. But the Jazz Chisholm error is just, that was so looming large. And with Jazz, his mouth and his antics, he writes checks the fucking team can't cash. When he's saying that, we'll win the division and we'll win the World Series, we're a super team, we'll fucking stomp on necks. You just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Every time you open your mouth, this fucking team loses. And your cost Sierra cost this fucking season. If this was still a 2-1 game, I think the Yankees would have won this game. They would have found out a way to tie the game and then win it late. But your error fucking took all the air out of the fucking stadium. And that was that. And then A-Rod was fucking critical after the game, and rightfully so, and he's 100% right. Worst roster construction he's ever seen. He's right. 3 left-handed hitting catchers. And I've said it, and I've said it, I've said it. The Yankees traded 5 right-handed hitting catchers in the last 16 months. You try to fucking trade, save one of them. You sent one in the Jazz Chisholm trade. You sent one in the Fernando Cruz trade. You sent Carlos Narvaez to Boston for literally fucking bonus pool money. And the other two, when the trade deadline rolled around, and I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, like, we need a right-handed hitting backup catcher. We need one. Because Austin Wells was struggling, and Ben Rice should have been the everyday catcher, and you could play first base, and you can have a right-handed bat, a catcher who's a right-handed bat, back him up, and whatnot. And, they traded for Bednar, and they put a catcher in that deal. And I was looking, and they had one catcher who was ready for 2026. He was batting 300 in the minors. And he was projected to be ready by 2026. He was a catcher / third baseman. And Brian Cashman inexplicably traded him for Duvall. Roster construction. J.C. Escar was not needed on this fucking playoff roster. You could add another pitcher. Playoff roster construction. So the Yankee season's over. It's going to be an interesting offseason. I think, they're never going to do it. Because, I'd rather than fire Boone, fire fucking Cashman, make Brian Sabian GM. I mean, he's won 3 titles in last decade with the Giants. But that's not going to happen. It's going to be more of the fucking same. Yeah, they'll do their little fucking tweaks. But as long as Aaron Boone is still managing this team, they'll never win. And especially next year when you have your ace coming back from Tommy John surgery. When you have Cole, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler, and Heel. And then you have Will Warren, and then you have Cole Schmidt coming back in August. And you have Bednar as your closer. Will you bring back Devin Williams? You have Duvall. You have Cruz. You're going to need a left-handed reliever. I wouldn't bring back Tim Hill. Get one more right-handed reliever. Doesn't have to be a flashy name. Someone who could just contribute. And then on the offensive side, If Cody Bellinger opts out of his deal, opts out of it, when the Yankees bring him back, when you have Spencer Jones waiting in the wings, do you bring back Trent Grisham after the year he's had? I think the Yankees should move off Anthony Volpe. They're going to need another first baseman to coincide with Ben Rice. And Pete Alonso is a free agent. I don't think the Yankees will sign him. So we'll figure out what first basemen are available on the market. They're going to need more right-handed bats, especially on, are they going to... Amer Rosario, him and McMahon. McMahon's a good defensive third baseman, but, if we get him next, if he can bat like 240, and cut down on the strikeouts. But we'll see what happens during the offseason. But I just think this team needs to be better constructed. I mean, you have your 162 games, but you need guys in the playoffs that can put the ball in play instead of fucking trying to hit home runs. That's what they need. I mean, Toronto did a really good job attacking. And you're basically, when you think about it, Toronto did all their damage early. They did all their damage in the first 5 innings. In the first couple of games. But they put the ball in play. They attacked the Yankee pitchers. They didn't chase much. And that's why they're advancing. For the Yankee season, that was, when you're up 8 games after a couple of months, and then you pretty much give it away. And there were times they were 6 or 7 back. And you know what? They gave themselves a chance. They did give themselves a chance late. And those last 6 games, all they had to do was go 5-1 or better. And they did do that, but Toronto did what they had to do. And that's why they won the division. So, congrats to them. Congrats to them. They're either going to play Seattle or Toronto or Detroit. But it's just another disappointing. It's just another disappointment. A team that hasn't had a losing record since the mid-90s. And has 1 championship and 1 pennant and 2 pennants and 1 championship in the last 16 years. Something has to change. And it's got to be the front office. The front office needs to be completely new everything. And I said that back in 23 when they didn't make the playoffs. They needed to rip off the foundation and a new slab later, and that with everything. Front office, minor league, player development, you name it. But we'll see. Hopefully Hal will come to his senses and do something. But we all know that's not going to happen. I'd be shocked if it did. If they came out the next 2 days and relieved Aaron Boone of his duties. But you know it's not going to happen. So that's about it for the Yankees for 2025. Tonight's the Giants. Let's hope they keep it some sort of a game. Because I don't think it will. But we'll see. You know, we'll see how Jackson Dart fares this evening with no wide receivers, literally. Just he has Wan'Dale Robinson. I put no stock in Jalen Hyatt or Bo Collins. Or maybe he'll have a little Jordan Humphrey, but we'll see. But I think this is going to be a get-right game for Philly. I think they'll win 30-13. Saquon will have a good game, as will A.J. Brown. But that's about it. And hopefully by then, Brian Day will be fired by Saturday. Because when will it fucking end? It's inexcusable. So that's about it for this tonight. I'll probably do a Giants video overnight tomorrow night. It may be different, but I won't be surprised of the outcome of tomorrow's game. Won't be. Because Giants can never beat Philly. They fucking owned them. Just like Dallas has owned them. And right now, Washington's owned them. So, this organization is an embarrassment. But that's about it. And everyone have a good day.